Hello, so in this video I'll be showing you the difference between the stitches per inches we popularly call SPI. So this is, I'm going to do a practical example. So I'm using a manual machine for this. You can use any kind of machine, it can be your industrial straight sewing machine. Okay, and when you look at this, this is the stitch regulator here, and it is on, I think 7, it's on 7. Okay, so I'm just going to run a stitch now and then use it to explain to you. Okay, so I don't need a lot of stitch to use to explain. When you say for this particular stitch now, someone would want to ask what is your stitch, what is your stitches per inch. That's what we want to confirm now. So for you to get your stitches per inch, you want to come, so let me bring this close. Yes, so look at the stitch you want to pick. Now you know this is like a loose stitch. I would pick just the beginning of a certain stitch. You can start from anywhere. I'm just picking from here, and then I would, from there I will measure 1 inch. Okay, this is where 1 inch is, so it has to be the end of another stitch, or even if it is not, it's fine. So from here to here, now I have to count how many stitches. So from here to here is 1 stitch. I hope you can see that. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'll come again on that, and this time I will zoom in so that you can see. So remember, I measured from here to here as 1 inch. You can pick from anywhere. I can decide to pick from here and measure to 1 inch. I can decide to pick from here and pick to 1 inch. So from, I'm just picking the beginning of 1 stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So this simply means the SPI of this equals to 10. So if you ask me what is the stitches per inches, okay, the stitches per inches is 10 inches. Now let me change the lever. Let me put it down completely, and I'm going to sew. So do the same thing here. So let's pick from here. Okay, and then we mark 1 inch. Okay, so here is where our 1 inch is. Now let's count how many stitch. 1, 2, can you see that? I'll come again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So what we have here is 8. Our SPI for this is 8. Okay, this is 8. So what this means is the stitch length of this is longer. It's still the same 1 inch compared to this. The stitch length here is longer than this. Okay, now when you're looking at stitch lengths, the difference in the two, you can have some stitch lengths that maybe for this particular machine, your stitches per inches is 8. Okay, because I'm already down the lever, that's the highest. That's the highest I can have, or that's the lowest figure I can have. So I can't have 7 with this machine. However, I can have more than 10. I can have 15, I can have 20. Now, the higher your SPI, the smaller your stitch length. So if this is 10, it is within 1 inch. I have 10 stitches. If I'm having 12 stitches, it will be within 1 inch, and that means this stitch length will be smaller. It can be tiny. Okay, and then this is bigger. For some machines, they probably might have 8. I don't know, but they probably might have 8. Maybe if you test your industrial sewing machine to confirm. Now, how does this SPI function when making dresses? Dresses that are lightweight, you need smaller. You need higher SPIs. You know what I mean by higher SPI? So dresses that are lightweight, like chiffon, like organza, those kind of fabrics, you need higher SPIs because they have ability to loosen out. So you need your stitches per inches to be more. So you notice some people say you do between 10 to 12 for those kind of fabrics, 10 to 12 for your SPI, meaning that I have to fix my stitch regulator in a way that it gives me 10 stitches per inches or 12 stitches per inches. So you keep setting until we get there. For industrial machine, because you don't need to take back the lever when you are back stitching, it's very good for you, so you don't lose out. But for manual machine, because when you are back stitching, you have to take the stitch regulator up. So it means that you might actually have to pay attention when you are bringing it back to ensure you have the same stitch per inches. And that also means that you have to set your stitch per inches when you're sewing. Now, for fabrics like jean fabric, big thick fabrics that can't rip off easily, you can use lower SPIs, like this 8 stitches per inch. You can use them. Also, another trick you don't know is for fabrics that are stretchy, like velvet, like lycra, use higher SPIs. So cases where you say, oh, I was sewing it and then I don't know, as the customer wanted to wear it, it was just tearing. It happens a lot. The solution is to use a higher SPI. So if you use a higher SPI like 12, by the time it even wants to rip, let's say this middle part rips, it rips into making the stitch 1, 2 stitches becomes 1. But because the stitches are smaller, even when it becomes 1, it still doesn't give any issue. Okay, so these are tricks to sewing velvet, sewing lycra. Let your stitch per inches be higher. All right, and then areas that have strain, like that, there's always a stress or a pressure on those areas, like your side seams, your crotch for your trouser, your underarm, areas that have stress that requires movement. You know, when you want to sit, if you're wearing a trouser and you bend down to sit, there's a stress around that area, you want to use higher stitch per inches. Okay, so these are what makes your dresses look neater, finer, and even that's you know, the class. When you see dresses that are neatly made, it's not just about the stitch alone, it's not just about the kind of thread alone, but the quantity of stitches that make an inch is very important. Okay, so if you have any question on this, let me know. I'll be willing to answer. Did you know this before, or you're just knowing it for the first time? Let me know in the comments.